Hello, Dr. Tutton,
Hello, Bozo.
and this is Doctor versus Bozo,
Yeah,
musical variety extravaganza extra. It's not an extra; it's just a regular show. Uh,
extra.
the show name's just gonna keep getting longer.
I know.
Uh,
Okay, but extra's a gum. I feel like next week we have to add like, oh, and we will
Extra
orbit the
double mint
musical. Yeah.
or orbit. Dirty mouth. Like I gotta clean it up. That's for sure. Uh, how are you this week?
I am good. It's Monday on day of recording, and I'm excited for the week. I have a mostly like regular week, which means I get to like do what I love, which is making new classes and things, for adult musicians who want to geek out on some music theory. Yeah, so that's good. Um, I can't think of anything interesting that happened now.
Uh, well, it's Monday morning for me. It's like almost 9 a.m.
Oof, so early there.
And I mean that's early for a musician. Like
Heck yeah, it is.
I spent the weekend like gigging, and I had an early gig on Friday, and that was 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Those are the early gigs. Uh, Better than you know 10 to 2, which
Did you say you had an 11 o'clock gig
oh I
too?
had actual early gigs.
Oh,
11 a.m. Uh, two 11 a.m.s in a row.
I thought you were gonna say you had like this special vocabulary. So 7 p.m. is an early gig. 2 p.m. is an early gig. When we meet at 11, that's an early gig. And if you ask me to come at 9 o'clock, I will tell you I hate you and walk away.
It wasn't a meet at 11. It was a 11 o'clock downbeat.
Oof.
Um, and so like I am going to get there promptly at 10:35. I mean I have spent a lot of time in my professional life cultivating the ultimate quick setup and tear down. But I will never beat the drummer who on the last note of the night, last crash, hits both the cymbals, lets one ring. He's already got one off of the stand as the other one like still ringing.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
hit
The
cymbals
speed.
off. Like it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That is funny. Did he have a place to be?
I mean it was 1:15 a.m. Like I can't imagine.
Maybe he's just really tired.
He probably did another gig beforehand. Um,
Maybe he had another gig after. You don't know. There could be a 2 a.m. gig. That's a late gig, or is that an early gig?
that's a late gig. And
Okay.
like I never know what to say when I walk into the gas station at 3 a.m. Morning or evening.
Mm. So I think it depends on whether or not you've been to sleep yet. And chances are neither you nor the store person have been to sleep yet, which means you say evening. That's the rule, as I understand it.
I mean, I'm not sure when the gas station that I frequent. I'm not sure when that 3 a.m. clerk when their shift starts. I feel like it might start at like 10 p.m. or midnight. In which case, do I say afternoon?
No, no, it's still night because they started the shift before it rolled over to a new day.
But they were just asleep.
Well, okay, but they didn't, that's like more of a nap situation. Like, so if you've gone to sleep at like 9 o'clock, like an old person, like I do, and then you, like wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. to go to the airport, who knows? You say good morning. But if I have like a night shift, like say I'm a nurse, I start my shift at 7 and I've been asleep, I wake up at like whatever, 5 p.m. It's still like nighttime. Although I will say the nurses do say good morning usually when they start to do the morning rounds. So my plan or like my system might be flawed.
I feel like my cutoff is 2 a.m. Like after 2 a.m., it becomes morning.
Really? I mean, that makes sense with like daylight savings time. That's the like the hour, but you don't even have daylight savings time.
Nope, not in Arizona.
You lucky little duck.
We don't know how to do that. Like we're not smart enough here. I live in the land of bozos.
Changing the clocks is too hard.
I may be a bozo, but here I'm a genius bozo. Just kidding. I will disparage the state I live in because I live here. Y'all don't get to do that.
I was in, so I live in Tennessee and I had gone to Nashville for the weekend and I saw so many pairs of cowboy boots. Like overall, Tennessee, I don't see a lot of cowboy boots, but if you're in Nashville, there are boots everywhere.
Yeah, like I've been playing. I played 2 junior rodeos this summer.
That's so fun.
Um, and those those kids are real cowboys. Like a heck of a lot tougher than me. That's for sure. Um, one of the kids, it was his birthday. They all held him down and they were, I don't know, whipping him with something, giving him
Weird.
birthday lashes, and they must have been giving it to him in dog years because they just kept going.
Oh no. Okay, I did a dance gig this weekend, and when you said birthday lashes, I was totally imagining like false stage eyelashes.
I mean, that's what I think of. Like, yeah, where are my birthday lashes?
Okay, dude, I was trying to think of like the funniest songs for you to play at a rodeo. So far, the best one I have is I Get a Kick Out of You.
I like it. I mean, we play like these boots are made for walking.
Okay.
Amarillo by morning, like that's about a rodeo, I think.
I don't know.
Because and there's bucking at the county fair, which like every time I hear that line, like it spooners in my head, like a spoonerism.
The county bear.
Yes, with the
Oh, it's
county
Fat
bear.
Bear time. Sorry. Tangent.
I saw a few bears, or they looked like they'd make good bears. And yeah, bucking at the county fair. Like every time I hear that, it like I can't stop myself from just yelling it towards the back of the stage, hoping somebody in the band will hear it. Um, yeah,
Ooh.
like the rodeo stuff and the country music that I've been playing. Like it's been an interesting world. What are your thoughts? I heard an ooh.
Oh, yeah, I just came up with another one. I was thinking Free Fallin' could be a good could be a good one. Another one Bites the Dust is good, but it's too easy. So,
Free fall, like free fall. What's that? Because I always think whenever I hear that song, like free ballin', yeah, yeah, free ballin'. Like to the point where like that, I think the song is called free ballin' at this point. Um,
Maybe you'll be the next Weird Al, Weird Bozo.
I've got tons of them. Like um, especially all these country songs. I got funny, like it's a point of view from like a sad guy, and I want to be write the song from the point of view of like one of the side characters, like Alan Jackson and George Strait's designated drinker. I want to write a song from like the point of their designated driver. Um,
I mean, that sounds pretty awesome.
and
If
there's
I knew
some
the song, I would help you.
I can't remember the I play bass in these country bands. Uh, so it's serious time. It's serious time.
Furious. Okay.
Let's talk about when we got serious with this stuff. With this stuff.
Ooh, points for amazing segue, man. Good job. Okay, do you want to go first on the serious business or second?
I mean, like, we should probably segment it again, like back and forth, because I imagine there are stages with our seriousness, like,
100%. I have serious stages.
like undergrad, masters, and doctorate. Like
Uh,
those are big old. Those are all like I imagine they could be entire shows. But yeah, I'll start with the early professional years. I'll
okay, bring
call
it
it.
on.
Um, I can't remember if I talked about my first gig that I ever did last time.
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'll start there. And if you heard that last time, I'm sorry you gotta hear it again, or you can fast
You
forward. You
just tell
have
it different.
you have control of your own destiny
I
with this video. Just please don't turn it off, and
know.
please subscribe.
Oh, right. We have to say those things now.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Um, so
Seriously though, like it helps. So you have to say it. Okay, continue. I want to hear the first gig story.
so when I got into high school, like I rejoined my high school orchestra. Um, 'Cause I'd quit music for a year to focus on throwing a baseball and cutting pineapples. Uh, uh,
Or both at the same time.
and then my buddy asks me to join the high school jazz band. I really didn't, know too much about playing the upright bass. I'd done a little bit in middle school, um, but I figured it out, and I figured out like all you gotta do is play quarter notes. Like you play quarter notes. Like Greg Hopkins uh, once told me, quarter notes are big bucks. Like you play quarter notes when they're supposed to start and when they're supposed to stop. You play in tune. Um, People will pay you for that.
Okay, but does it take four quarter notes to make a big buck?
It takes a lot more than four quarter notes. Really, if you count it like if you're paid by the note, you are working cheap.
Definitely. Even if you're paid by the hour, you're working a little cheap.
So that was when I really started like thinking about the bass when I joined my high school jazz band, and so I started putting more time into learning about the electric bass as well. And I spent like my entire freshman year like just trying to figure like absorb as much musical knowledge as I could. And the summer between my freshman and sophomore year, I got a call from somebody from a like different high school, like, "Hey, we want to put together this show, and we're just gonna play a couple hours at this coffee shop, and we're gonna have a good time." I'm like, sick. So we got together a couple times, learned a bunch of songs. I have video of that gig. I refuse to share any of it publicly. I'll send some of it to
Okay,
you.
good, because I bet that's so cute.
Um, but like I've always been like a little attention goblin, so like a little showboat. So like I was having a good time. Like I'm like, this is fun. Like I could do this. I could keep doing this. And then the worst possible thing happened.
No.
Um, After the gig, the piano player walked over to me and gave me $25 and said, "Here's your cut." I'm like, "What? You can make money with this?" And from that moment on, my life was ruined.
Ruined.
That set me on a terrible path that led me here. Like, I just liked doing music. Like, it was a fun thing. I never thought about it, like, as a job. And the fact that I did the thing that I really liked to do, and I had, like, no idea where we were getting money. And then
A
I get, I
pleasant
get,
surprise.
I get handed money. Like, from that moment on, it's like, okay, this is 100% of my focus. Like, I like money. Because I had a job. Like, I'd been working since I was like 13. I was a baseball umpire.
Oh, awesome.
So, that's where I would acquire my money for snacks and, like, bicycle equipment.
Snacks and bike equipment. How very like 80s neighborhood gang.
And like, once I, got paid to do music, I'm like, maybe I could quit my umpiring job and just do this.
Less squats.
And so I got home from the gig and just, like, I just kept playing. Like, I played probably till like 5 in the morning, and that was the start of serious time.
The beginning. I'm so surprised that your family was like, sure, play till 5 a.m. That won't bother us.
Oh, it was a bass guitar and it was
Oh, right, you
unamplified.
have an amp. I can't play quietly. Well,
Yeah,
not that quietly.
I mean,
I could sleep through that.
I was downstairs, my parents were upstairs. Like, it was a good situation.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's like part one of serious time. That's what, like, kicked it off.
Yeah, when you like knew. Okay. So I don't have a first gig story like that. I mean, unless you count the one I told last week about getting paid $10 to shut up on my first day. But I do have a similar, like, when I decided to do music professionally story. So I am in high school. We're getting into my senior year, and actually, like, my top choices were to do like marketing or public relations, something like that. Um, yeah, so I had abandoned my math dreams at that point, and I was going to do marketing or public relations. And then somebody said to me, like, "Oh, aren't you going to miss playing your flute every day?" And that's the first time it occurred to me that I wouldn't just have like a bunch of open time to like play my flute whenever I wanted to, like I did. And I was like, "Oh, well, now I don't know." So, anyways, I thought about it for a little while and I was like, no, I want to be a professional musician because that way, like, they'll pay me for practicing for a couple hours a day. Obviously, like, I'll get, I'll get
That's
to.
how it works.
It is not how it works, and no one tells you this. You do not get paid for your practice time, except that if you practice strategically and smartly and you can sight read better, then you kind of get paid more because it takes you less prep time for a gig. Um, but but still. So that was my big like turning point when I was like, "Oh, yeah, I want to be able to play music as a part of my regular day and I want people to pay me for it." And again, when everything was ruined.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like fun wise, making music as a career is the absolute best. The only reason I'm salty about it is that no one explains to an 18-year-old that like different people get paid different amounts of money for doing their work, like depending on what work you do. So you don't realize that like as a musician, you're going to be working. What do you think? Twice as long? At least one and a half times as long as everyone else, and probably making less money um, for that. But, you know, trade off, you do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing country. I've been doing what I love and loving what I do. Did you do that one? I can make a
No,
living out of loving you.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this country set list that I have to learn, Like I can only do 2 or 3 songs at a time listening, because then it just starts to sound like country the song. Like it's all the
Country.
same song. I have it just gets scrambled up here because the changes are so similar. But there's always like one little thing that's different. Like I'm not gonna remember that, and half the time, like in my world, like if you get a chart, like you're you are very very lucky. Um, so like I I don't know any of the songs.
So,
Winging it.
quick anecdote. In my high school band room on the bulletin board, there was like a comic up there that was like make your own country song. And it had like a grid. I think it was like 5 by 4, and you would pick a like phrase from each column, and that would be your country song. And it always started out with like, I was drunk, I was broke, I was tired, like, and you pick whatever. Um, and go through and make your own country song. So I do think there is a formula according
That
to,
doesn't sound like a joke. That sounds like all of the songs.
yeah. Did you ever hear the country song backwards one?
Yes, yes.
I like that one. I think that's very clever.
Uh, so your serious time started when you found out you weren't able, if you went into marketing or PR, you wouldn't be able to play the flute every day. So
Yeah.
that's what set you down the path.
Exactly. And I wanted it to be like a part of my work time. Like I was pretty specific about that. Like I didn't want to come home from working an 8 hour day and then like have 2 hours of
Hmm.
practice left to do. I wanted it to be like part of my sketch. But so that's when I really realized that, oh, okay, I'd better get down to business to defeat the hun.
Donny Osmond.
Did I send the
Um, so like my first gig, uh, happened, and then like 3 weeks later, I got my driver's license. Um,
Ooh, big time for you.
so I had, some amount of freedom. So like, yeah, I'm just gonna find musical stuff to do. Um, and like I somehow saxophone player that went to my high school hustled a weekly jazz gig, like for a trio. He wanted it to be a
Cool.
sextet, but like I don't know. We were teenagers. Some of us didn't have cars, probably. So it was just me, a drummer, and him.
I thought you were going to say we wanted it to be a sextet because we were teenagers and we thought it was hilarious to have sex in our band name.
You know that might have been the reason, but I am kind of a bozo and I don't pay that much attention. Um, but so we had this weekly gig and we totally squandered it. And we're
What?
uh well, uh, weekly gig. We didn't get paid for it. We just showed up and like if there were some tips, like sometimes we'd walk away with like $4 and nobody showed up because we didn't promote it because we were
You don't
16.
know. Yeah, you don't know.
And like multiple times, day of, saxophonist is like, yeah, I don't want to do that tonight. You gotta tell the guy that we're not doing it. Like, I gotta tell the guy. This is your
What?
gig. You hustled it. You're like, no, you gotta tell him. And so, like, 3 or 4 times, uh, of that, the club owner was like, okay, jazz night's canceled. And so, like, I'm the the butthole here because like I'm the guy that's dealing with the booker, and so like that started getting me like a little bit savvier to the business of this because dude somehow got the gig and then pawned off like the work of maintaining the gig onto me, which was a terrible idea. Um, and that's sort of when I discovered like, okay, that's not part of the business that I want to deal with right now. So that made me, think of try to think of other like find other people who are good at that. Um,
Yes, and that's huge.
so I got a few gigs like that, and then I did this jazz camp in Blaine, Washington,
Blaine.
um, which is the forbidden exit, like on I-5. Like
Why?
you gotta take that exit to Blaine, otherwise you are going to Canada.
Oh, it's your last route off. Okay, I got you.
Yes, and if you say sorry, I didn't mean to be in this line, Border Patrol is not gonna be happy with you. Everybody knows somebody who has a story about accidentally going to Canada.
No.
Have you seen the video of that kid like who goes through a revolving door and like it doesn't go through the other you can't go through the other side and he's just like in Canada now. And the parents are like, "Can't come back. Why did you do that?" And they're just being being jerks to their child. Um, Funny to me, but
Yeah, I know. Being jerks to children. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, my family got together for a family birthday. And my little sister, who's, not little anymore, she works. But anyways, she said butt face in front of my 6-year-old niece. And now that's my 6-year-old niece's favorite word is butt face. And she had to have a discussion with her parents about how butt face cannot be said at school. But she was allowed to change her middle name to butt face if she wanted to.
whoa,
I know.
that's now my middle name.
We've gone through Bozo, Buttface, Booker. You got a lot of bees coming your way.
Um, so I went to this jazz festival, and that's where Greg Hopkins told me quarter notes are big bucks, kid.
Okay.
Um, and like I got to meet this saxophone player and the piano player that I played that gig with. Um, he was there, and so we put together a little jazz quartet and did the same gig again a year later, but with jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And me and that saxophone player like hatched a little plan because saxophone's a loud instrument, and I had just obtained an upright bass, and that's loud enough. So we went to the street. We went to the street and played the farmers market every Saturday in
Nice.
uh, in the fall of 2008.
Hey,
Uh,
busking, another B word.
Busking. That's the title of the episode, the Big Bees,
I know.
and that's where like I learned so many tunes because we just put out a real book, which is a fake book. It's kind of funny they call it the real book because it's
But then there's also a fake book, which is a fake book.
and yeah, I was just reading the charts. He'd play the melody, and then like he'd solo, and then he'd stop playing, and it was my turn to solo. There's nothing. It's just me, and
Yeah.
so like that might be scary, but all I thought is like it's just me. I can play whatever I want.
Right?
The chords are made up, and the changes don't matter. Um, so like, like I'll play whatever I want and try to keep the form. Uh, and I built a vocabulary of things I could do over certain songs. And I was learning certain sets of changes, and I was playing all the time. And I mean that was essentially like paid practice
Nice.
because this sax player, he was like 15 and
Mm-hmm.
young and cute, which is a good combination to make dollars.
Tips. Yeah.
So we'd play for like 4 or 5 hours at this farmer's
Holy
market.
cow, that's so long.
Yeah, my fingers would sometimes bleed.
Oof. Mm-mm.
Um, and we'd take breaks every now and again. We actually screwed up the rules at the farmers market because we found like good spots, and they made it
Oh.
so you had to rotate spots the next
Oh,
year.
I see.
But we'd walk away with like $100 like each. Um, at,
$25 an hour, not bad for a high school kid.
at 17 years old, I was felt like I was rolling in it.
Mm-hmm. Of
Um, and
course, you
then
didn't realize that if you did your taxes properly, it was 35% less, but
yeah, I was a kid, so
I was gonna say
like,
the IRS will not come after a 17-year-old
where's the
unless it's
record
like
of
Justin
those
Bieber.
dollars? Like, where's the record?
Exactly. What dollars?
Please don't audit me, IRS. I pay my taxes. Every dollar is I give you, like, even the ones that aren't documented. I document.
I
I,
know.
I pay you properly, IRS. Please don't audit me. Like,
They may not have time for us.
yeah. Um, and playing in front of so many people, like, couple, you know, lots of people be like, hey, we think you're great. Will you play at our party or play at our wedding or whatnot? And so we started getting gigs, just us as a duo.
Fabulous.
Um, and so again, just playing all the time, building the chops,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and you know playing in front of people, meeting other musicians, like starting to get connected to other bands, started playing in other trios, and means learning more and more songs. And so my junior year of high school, like I was essentially uh, just gigging all the time. Like I was I was doing the thing I love to do as my job in high school, and that'll lead me to like the next part of my journey. And I'm gonna say something I've never said publicly before.
Ah, really? I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
I haven't told you yet, but it's really the why I call myself Bozo.
Uh, I do. I want to know why you call yourself Bozo because you're not very bozo-y, except that you're funny. But anyways, well, okay, so I really love that you like built your musical chops like gigging and playing by ear and improvising. It's like the total opposite of how I built my chops, like from a classical perspective. I built my chops in the practice room by myself with my metronome, like just learning rote practice. And I actually think your way's better, Bozo, but mine is traditional, and that's, I didn't know any better. So I guess my like next part of my serious story is when I started college. It was the first time that I had like a real professional flutist as my flute teacher, and she knew so much stuff that I didn't know. And the biggest thing for me is that she knew alternate fingerings. So in flute land, our job is to be the bird. We let our fingers fly over our instruments. We play stuff really quickly. And sometimes there are like fingering shortcuts that you can use so you can play even faster. And she knew all of those. And I was like, holy crap, there is a whole world available to me. So I loved like finally seeing someone who was an absolute like master of their instrument. She played in the symphony in my like college town and stuff. So it was so delightful. But I only had her for one semester. And then I know she had to leave because of like one of her family members got really sick and she had to like go take care of them. So over the next like year and a half, I had three more flute teachers. So like college is divided into semesters, and in 4 semesters, I had four flute teachers. Yeah, and it was a mixed bag, how it went. Um, Eeks. So anyways, by the time I got to my like junior year of college, they got the best flute teacher in all of the land. Her name is Dr. Julie Hobbs, and she has been on my game show podcast a bunch of times. And she taught me so much. But the biggest thing she did is she gave me this book that we call the Kujala Vade Mecum, because its title is the Vade Mecum, and it's by the former piccoloist of the Chicago Symphony, Walford Kujala. And it's this whole like I mean, it's not that thick. It's like a half an inch of like practice stuff. It had a lot of those alternate fingerings in it, and all sorts of other exercises. But she had studied with Mr. Kujala. So she also put a post-it on my book. And it had the thing that Mr. Kujala practiced every day, like the portion of the book that he thought was the most important. And no shockers here, it's scales and variations. But he like put forth like this is the most important stuff to practice. And you went through and did like an embouchure sort of like warm up, and then you did major scales, all three of your minor scales, major thirds, all of your minor thirds. You did four types of arpeggios, whole tone scale, um diminished seventh chords, dominant seventh chords, and then there was a thing that like looped you around to the new key, and then you started the new key. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to do this. I need to use his fancy fingering so that I can move faster and play faster, which is the flutist's, purpose in life is to play faster. And so I did. I like spent all kinds of time in the practice room doing that, and I would, start looking at the book, but then I would play it all by ear so that I could keep track of it and my fingers developed that muscle memory. And my goal was to be able to do all 12 keys in less than 15 minutes, which I can do. I achieved the goal. And so at that time, my like undergraduate time, the biggest two things that I learned were to use alternate fingerings and like a broader like when people really know their stuff, there's like so much intricacy and so many interesting things to learn. Like if you're with a teacher, I mean, whether it's a music teacher or not, but like somebody who really knows their stuff, it's like magical, because they can tell you things you didn't even think to ask, and your progress is quicker because you know somebody who's already like blazed that trail and they can tell you exactly what to do. Anyways, so it was delightful. I learned all the like alternate fingerings and I got to know sort of like what you can do on the flute when you get really good. And then scales. Like I hate to say it, it sounds boring, but it's true. Now, I will say for people who aren't professional musicians, I don't actually believe that you have to have all 12 major scales and their accompanying minor scales like at your fingertips at all times. For my adult students, I just like if you're playing a piece in a certain key, then you should have a technique workout in that key so that you're prepared. But I don't think that you need to do, you know, C flat minor and have that ready at a moment's notice if you're not a professional musician. Like pick the keys that are big for your instrument, know those like
C flat
five or
minor?
six.
How many flats does that have?
Too many.
Is that
I'm
like 10 flats?
well, it's isn't it like a gross permutation of B minor? Like anyone else would have called it B minor, but I call it C flat minor.
Like I'm thinking of the actual theoretical C flat minor. So
Yeah.
so like
C flat,
C
D
minor,
flat,
three
E
flats.
double flat.
My shortcut C minor, three flats. If it's C flat minor, add seven flats, 10
Yep.
flats. Ugh. So that'd be but double flat, E double flat, A double flat, and everything else
Yep.
has a flat. That's
Yep.
and B minor has two sharps. Why does everything smell like copper?
You weirdo. No, and no one would say it that way, but you know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean. Like, I don't think that everyone has to have that under their fingertips if they're not playing as a professional. Like, there's a strategy to what you work on so that you are ready for the music that you play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like when you're not a professional musician, oftentimes, like even though you do have to sight read, we all see music for the first time sometime. It's not always in a high pressure situation. So it's fine if you make mistakes. You just I mark mine with little like check marks anytime I get to something I can't play. And then I go, when I'm home, I go and practice all the check marks so I'm ready for next time.
Um,
So, anyways, that was my big thing, expertise on instruments and, scales.
that's basically the next next part in my journey. Like,
Oh yeah, I want to hear the thing that never said.
I'll get there. I promise.
Make them wait for it. I know that's good for the podcast, but I'm impatient.
So, like, I started gigging like all the time in my junior year. I was doing the thing that I loved to do, and then uh, uh, this is neither here nor there. I started drinking, so that was a problem. I have a genetic proclivity for alcoholism. I've
Yep,
been
that's frustrating.
sober for 10 years now, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. Um, but so like things in my life started that didn't matter to me started to fall off, but music sure mattered.
Hmm.
So the summer between my junior and senior year, uh, when I wasn't trying to acquire booze as a 17-year-old, I was practicing. I practiced my upright bass 8 hours every day.
Oh my gosh, how did you even fit that in?
I mean, it was the summertime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I quit my job. I got another part-time job serving concessions at no, I quit my job the previous summer, so like I had no job, so I was just playing, like working on my time feel, getting those quarter notes to be right at the exact time, learning all of my arpeggios, and then 2 octave scales in all 12 keys on the upright bass, and the fingerings for them and trying to play them in tune. And I cheated a lot of it by putting like little pencil marks on the high string, like so I could just put my finger down there and I knew it would be in tune, and
Yeah,
hopefully the muscle memory would kick in. And
exactly. Although I will say I don't have any issues with like instrument aids. If it helps you, use it.
yeah, I have an upright student. I haven't had an upright student in a long time, but
Fun.
he's a he's putting pencil markings in
Hmm.
the low spot, which like like that's fine, but you cannot get lazy with that. Like, cause you put your fourth finger down, you collapse your hand. Like, yeah, this is gonna be in tune, but this one, like, if you just pull off, like, you're gonna be. That's not a note. It's not a pitch. Well, it
Hmm.
is, but it's not correct.
Right.
So it's really got to build that muscle memory
Hmm.
um, to get things in tune, and a lot of that's like knowing your specific instrument, like where the neck meets the body is usually there's a spot that you can find a pitch that you'll hit, and you'll hit it like 95% of the time. So 8 hours every day I was practicing,
Oof.
and I
Your
was
fingies.
oh, like they were strong. They were strong at that point. Um,
The calluses are like mountains on your finger.
they had never been so strong. They nowhere near that strong now. Like, um, but all that practice like paid off. Like I got to play with the local you know jazz elite, um, like the real jazz guys, and they were. I got my sort of like whiplash education. Like they were not easy on me. Um,
Oof. Yeah.
and I was in the Pacific Northwest, so there's a lot of passive aggression there. I'm like that navigating the professional landscape. Like I learned a lot then of things like to do and things not to do. Like looking back, like my mentor was like my age now, and the way he treated a 17-year-old kid, like I don't think that's like like
No.
giving a 17-year-old kid a gig. So, hey, put this in your calendar, and then not talking to him for 2 weeks. Like I had to run him down. Like, hey, what's the deal with this? Like, oh, I went with another guy a day before the gig. Like
Oh,
that's heartbreaking.
that is heartbreaking for anyone, but especially a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm still dealing with that trauma.
dude, I'm so sorry. What a jerk.
Yeah, he's dead to me, and I
Yeah.
wish him nothing but the worst.
Glitter. I hope someone mails you glitter.
Um, so, in addition to that, I also like got to play in the university uh, jazz band under the direction of Chuck Israels, who played bass for Bill Evans for 5 years.
Cool. Bill Evans is the bluegrass guy, yeah?
Bill Evans played piano on
Wow.
So What, uh, Kind of Blue. He played some on Kind of
Oh,
Blue,
okay,
which
okay.
is the most best-selling jazz album of all time. Um, and like he was a scary, scary man. Like 5'4" with a crew cut, but like just commanded uh,
Uh-huh.
like respect. Um, and like he was very well known for telling people to like just quit, throw their instruments off a chuckanut, which is
Oh,
like
that's
this like
mean
cliff. Oh
too.
yeah, he was a nasty guy, uh, from all accounts. He was really like kind to me, which like looking back is like, did he see potential in me or did he just like not care enough? Like oh this guy
Oh,
sucks. Like
I
I
bet it
don't
was
know.
potential.
I don't know. He did take me to his house one time, and he gave me like a little lesson, and like I've always thought about this, like because he's a bass player. He's also an arranger, and one of his students was Paul Simon. Like
Oh, wow. Okay.
Paul Simon studied arranging with Chuck
Yeah.
Israels. Um, and he wrote out an arrangement of this tune called Stardust, and he had the bass play the melody for the verse to open it up all by itself, and it was written pretty straight, da 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 da, and that's not what he wanted me to play, because he's probably writing it for his own orchestra,
Mm-hmm.
and he just play the part that was supposed to be there. Like you don't want to notate that. So he said, listen to Nat King Cole sing this, and play the melody as if you were singing the words. I'm like, I've never thought about that. And so like I listened to it, tried. He's like, okay, you're coming to my house. Like, we'll get you doing this, and like he just sitting on his staircase, and I was fumbling through this thing, and I learned like that was an important lesson for me. Um, the winter of 2009 2010, um, gigging all the time. So I was doing the job that I always wanted to do. I was working. Why the
Yeah.
hell was I going to school? Like why was I going to high school? So I stopped.
Okay.
I'm a high school dropout.
Oh, this is the thing that you're not telling anyone. And this
Yes.
is why you call yourself Bozo?
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I had a credit and a half left.
Oh, that is a little bit of a Bozo move. You were so close.
I was so close. Like, and I had to do the senior project, and like I did the entire thing. I just didn't like write the essay or present any of it. So like credit and a half, and just like a couple of pieces of paperwork. And I said, nah, I'm already like what's school for? To get you prepared for your career. I'm already doing my career. why am I doing this BS when I'm out 3 or 4 nights a week till 11, like, and then I have to get up at freaking 5 in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
this is stupid. Like, I'm just not gonna go. And I was drinking, smoking weed all the time. So like, I'm pretty like headstrong. Like, if there's something I want to do, I'm gonna focus 100% on that and like let everything else fall by the wayside. And I got my GED like a year later, so I am certified. Like, but like that, I mean, you can't go back. You can't fix that. Like, I didn't finish high school.
I mean, you got such a good education though, like just on your own, like the Fruit Loops method, following your nose to the like
To
next
the nearest exit.
person who could teach you something cool. Yeah. I don't hate that. It's not the worst. It's not the worst choice you could make. I mean, a credit and a half, I would be like, "Oh, are you sure you don't want to just like jump through that one hoop? Maybe you can like just half booty it." Um, but yeah,
And
I
then I
don't
did 2 more years of uh university. Like, I just showed up for 2 more years. Like, so, and I have some college credits. So anytime, like, it gives you that survey of like what's your education level, I get to
Mm-hmm.
check some college,
Excellent.
and it's not a lie.
Check. I always check the like I have gone all the way button.
And that's a good button to check.
Well, except that again, like all my experience was like in the practice room, and so I actually have like this extreme anxiety about like performing outside of the practice room that it's not going to be perfect and like whatever, but it's not going to be perfect. You must learn how to improvise and dig yourself out of whatever hole you get yourself into, like musicianship as opposed to like rote learning of your one specific instrument is 110% the way to go. That's why I started my like theory and musicianship classes for adult learners. Is because I think that gives you so much more progress than just doing your instrument. And you never know what's going to happen. Like I got tendonitis during my doctorate, and so I couldn't play my flute as much as I wanted to, but I was able to pick up other instruments because my hands were in different positions, so I didn't put the same like strain on them. So I mean, musicianship is the way to go, and that's what you were learning when you were out in the wild. It's so invaluable.
And professionalism as well, like what
Hmm.
to do, what not to do. uh like, from my own experiences and from watching other folks. there
Other
there
bozos.
yeah, there are some shady characters in this biz. Like,
Yeah.
one time I was playing a gig. I was 17 or 18. It was a trio, a guy with a guitar, and he was singing, um, and then saxophonist and me on bass. And he's like, "Yeah, I got this gig every Thursday night. Come hang out. You'll get dinner, and I'll give you a few bucks." Like, so many times, like, I got a free dinner, and I walked away with $7, which paid for the gas for me to get there.
I know, right? It
But
hurts.
in 2009, like, actually it didn't. Like,
Okay.
gas was like $5 a gallon where I was at.
Oof. Oh, you
Uh,
mean it didn't pay? I was like, that hurts. And you were like, actually, it didn't. And I was like, really? You were okay with like pizza and $7?
no, it didn't. It didn't pay for the gas.
Yeah.
So
Ouch.
expensive.
It's worse.
Um,
I once had someone I know tell me that I was ungrateful because I wouldn't drive 2.5 hours one way to play at their church for free.
oh, cool.
Yeah, sounds right, right? Ungrateful, obviously.
Yeah, like, I mean that is egregious enough that I'm almost like, name and shame, but not
I
yet, not yet.
this one I won't. This one I'm keeping. But the story, I mean, yeah, it hurts. Um,
Yeah, that's, you get a lot of that in this biz.
hmm.
But that dude, like, I thought it, like, we were all like just playing for free and a free meal, and he got like 4 glasses of wine, every night for free. That was a
Okay.
great gig because I when I turned 21, I lost out on so much value from that gig from 17 to 21.
Oh, because you couldn't have the alcohol,
Um,
legally speaking.
yeah, so when I turned 21, I would get there, I would have a pint before starting, and then another pint, and then I'd get the third one for the first set. Then I'd get one for the second set, one before the third set, and then I'd have two more after, and so that's 7 pints of Stone IPA.
Oh my goodness. How did you play?
This is another terrible thing. Like I read a story when I was like 18 about like this guy who showed up to sit to a gig just completely blasted, like barely stand, and like, why don't you sit in? He's like, okay, and just plays phenomenally.
What?
And then the dude asked him, "How do you play so well drunk?" He's like, "I practice drunk." I'm like, "Oh, that's a really good idea. I should do that." So I started just drinking while before practicing, so I could practice drunk. How
All
stupid is
right
that?
then. I kind
well,
of stupid.
it seemed real smart at the time, um, but yeah. So I could barely stand. I'd get home, throw up, but I did the whole gig. Only embarrassed myself. I don't know, like 15 times.
Which is pretty good for a gig.
Uh, yeah, and caused some crash outs here and there, and that's another part of the biz to navigate is the um, substance abuse. Like,
Hmm.
this is one of the only jobs where it's not only sometimes allowed that you can, partake in alcohol. It's encouraged,
Hmm.
constantly. Like,
Even classical musicians, some of them will take a shot before they go play or some sort of medication to help calm the nerves.
um, I did the pit orchestra for the musical Rent,
Okay.
and I just had a
125. Sorry.
I had a pint of or I had an Aquafina bottle just full of vodka,
Oh my gosh.
and so I'd be drinking on that, and then just pop a piece of gum, and what?
And in the pit, you're close together, so you're probably fooling no one.
Yeah, well, we weren't we were actually on the stage,
Oh, okay.
because it's a rock uh thing, but
That's nice. I hate being in a pit. Ugh.
um yeah, I've only blacked out a couple times, but one of them was at the intermission. I don't remember. I broke a string. Like, oh, this sucks. Glug 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 glug. And then next thing I know, I'm at somebody's house with a White Russian, watching The Big Lebowski. Still can't remember whose house that was.
Oh no. Or how you got there? Do you think
Huh?
you finished the gig or did you just like leave?
Uh, I finished the gig.
Okay.
Yeah. I would have gotten in a lot of trouble if I just dipped. But I had been practicing drunk for a good
So
amount
you're
of.
you were ready.
Yeah. Don't do that. Just because when I stopped drinking, I had to relearn how to play. I
Oh
was
no.
less play and more perform.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
You
know,
didn't have that buffer.
alcohol is liquid courage. When
Mm-hmm.
all that goes away, it's just you and your instrument, stone cold sober, in front of a bunch of drunk idiots.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little nerve wracking.
Yeah, it is. And in classical music, it's still nerve-wracking, but we at least have the stand shield of protection between us and the audience a lot of the times, and you don't get that.
So, what about your master's program?
Yeah, so my master's program, I had a great teacher as well, Dr. Leonard Garrison. And he taught me more about like different types of practicing. And I actually it made such a difference to me. I'm teaching a free class on this for my adult music theory nerds. And it's, super practical music theory, but like how to use all of these techniques. So, anyways, it will be already done by the time this episode comes out. But if you're sad about that, like send me a message. I'll send you a replay. Anyways, so he taught me a bunch of different practice methods. Like rhythmic displacement was one of the big ones for him. The like straightforward example of it is to do like swing feel, ba-da-da-da-da-da. And then of course you're supposed to like flip it backwards, and so it's like ba-da 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 ba-da, which is the hard one. But he had a bunch of like different methods that you could use to cycle through. So that was really cool. And the biggest thing I learned from him were those practice methods. Also, he was a great teacher. He could like anything he could do, he could teach another person how to do it, which sounds like, teaching 101, but honestly, so many music teachers can't, they just, if it came easy to them, then they don't know what to do. If somebody can't do it, they're just like, well, try again. Or they're like, do it like this, and like play it perfectly, and then are confused when you didn't learn anything because they didn't tell you anything. But Dr. Garrison was a great pedagogue, and he could teach you, oh, that's my esoteric, like smarty pants word that I love to use is pedagogue. You're like a student of teaching and how to teach things well. um, Anyways, pretentious side of the podcast coming at you. So all of those things were great. And also, he would not take any of my bull crap. So I would come in and to my lesson and be like, "Hey, I came across this weird thing while I was practicing, and my like lips feel weird when I do this, like whatever, blah 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 blah." And he'd just look at me and be like, "Okay, do you want to play your etude?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll play my etude." So, anyways, there's no nonsense, no derailing him during lesson to do something weird or out there. I just got so much better at my like fundamentals and things. He also really loved this book called Kincadiana, which is about the teachings of the principal of the Philadelphia Symphony for a while, Thomas Kincaid. And he had like just lovely so he had a bunch of lovely warm-ups that he did that really help with like soft playing and excellent tone and consistent playing. So your tone isn't like coming in and out. It has this like broad shape to it that like matches the melody. But also he had interesting ideas about like stressing certain notes to make things more musical. So like the first note of a slur, he would so it was actually one of Kincaid's students who did the book, John Krell, and he would draw like a little dude in the book, like stepping on the first note and then like a little arrow as to like where he was going. So a bunch of like things about musicality, um, to to make your music sound more beautiful. And those things actually helped me become a much better sight reader. Like I already had the technique side down pretty well from my scale practice, and also like the surprise accidentals and things and the rhythms didn't phase me anymore because I had done enough backgrounds like music theory and musicianship to be ready for those. But all of a sudden now I could play super musically, and I could sound like I had time to analyze the score and practice, even though I was just seeing it for the first time. So that was probably the biggest thing. The I guess I have two fun Dr. Garrison stories. Number one is that he had a kid, Arthur, and whenever Dr. Garrison and his wife would travel, they would have me come stay at Arthur's so he could stay at home and like not have to go with them or miss school or anything or whatever. But that meant that I was at his house a bunch, and I got to use his studio to practice in, which is so delightful. It was a neat studio in a like clean way, but it also had just, a ton of music everywhere, and it was fun. He had a record player in there. But the best part was that his dog, he had a black lab, and she would come in and sit on my feet while I practiced to keep them warm, which was very much needed in Idaho. And of course, I've always had cats, and they hate the sound of my flute playing. So one of my cats, Maestro, may he rest in peace. I love that kitty. He had opinion. Thank you for the moment of silence. He had like strong opinions. If I played Bach, he was okay. If I played Mozart, he was okay. As soon as I moved on to a bear or something 20th century, he would bite my calves. He's like, "This is too far. The notes are too high. I cannot take it anymore."
That's crazy.
I know, Bach fine, Mozart fine, but anything 20th century, he's like, "Nope, done." Which honestly is the same opinion as a lot of humans.
Yeah, that is something fascinating to think about. How animals hear music, and the frequency spectrum that they can hear, we can't. I don't know what 64K hertz sounds like. My kitty does.
Well, and it's probably like really uncomfortable for their little ears. Like, I don't begrudge them not liking my flute playing. And of course, that's not to mention the piccolo playing, then everyone leaves. Like, no one wants to be here for that. You know how, like, okay, everyone thinks, like, oh, it must be so nice to live with a professional musician. You have, like, the music serenading you all the time. It's, like, beautiful. But then, like, a musician practicing, I'm just playing, like, the hardest run, but only, like, four notes of it at a time, just over and over and over and over again. And it's actually, like, really annoying.
That's why I married my wife, because she can stand that. Like, like when I'm doing the bar gigs or any gigs, everybody's asking, "Where's your wife? Why doesn't she come watch you play? Why doesn't she support you?" I'm like, "You have no idea what you're talking about. She listens to me practice, and more importantly, she lets me practice.
Yep.
That is far more supportive than like showing up to watch me, you know, dance and play these stupid things."
Especially because you live so far away from your gigs.
Yeah. Um. So, yeah, she'll go to one a year, but she's missed the last few years. So, um,
That's fair. She hears you all day.
she really does. And sometimes all night. I spent 3 days on the road, and I have this impeccable timing that I plug into the amplifier right as she's getting ready for bed. It
No,
doesn't
what a
matter
twerp.
what time it is. She could be real tired at 9 p.m.
Hmm.
And that's like, it is time for the amplifier. It's just I don't know, some weird energy field.
Okay, they've got to have this. Can you have like an amp that comes through headphones?
Oh yeah, yeah. I do. That's what I've got going on right now. She doesn't hear the amplified sound.
Oh.
I I'm just an ass goblin, and like, oh, it's time to plug into the real amp when I could totally be here, and, whoops,
Huh?
and just be playing, quietly. Uh, Thankfully, she can't hear the power tools in my workshop. Like I asked her, like, you didn't hear anything at 2 in the morning? She's like, hell no. What are you doing? I'm like, I was playing with the angle grinder.
I
That,
mean,
that's loud.
funsies, but 2 in the morning, man, come on. You gotta sleep.
Um, it's so dumb. Like, here's another certified bozo moment. I will wear ear protection earplugs every single gig. Save
You
the
do.
ears.
Good. You have to.
Absolutely. Playing with the angle grinder, that thing's loud. I'm just, raw dogging that. Like,
You
why are my
could wear
ears?
no.
I have a little thing in my workshop that says earplugs.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's something I'm gonna start doing when I use power tools. Put the earplugs in.
Well, I think you just need to like get those cheap earplugs and then like put them on top of your equipment. You know what I mean? So like you would have to move them to use the equipment, so you might as well put them in your ears.
Another certified bozo moment. I did that with my safety glasses.
Uh-huh.
I just moved my safety glasses out of the way and used the.
No, dude. What are you even doing? This earns you your bozo reputation. None of the other stuff, but that No ear protection,
No
no
eye
eye
protection.
protection.
Yeah. This is certified stupid stuff. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
why I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to be better about workshop safety. Um, and like all the paint fumes and lead fumes, like that's all that's doing is making me dumber. Like I was dumb already, but
You can get yourself like a respiratory
yeah, I
mask.
have a respirator that I
Okay.
that I
But
I'm
then at
using.
least you look stupid instead of becoming stupid.
Yes. Lead poisoning is no joke because not only does that make you stupid, it makes you angry too.
Oh
An
no.
angry, stupid person is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in bars, like you see that a lot. Um, so, like, I went through a bunch of professional faux pas in my home state of Washington. Went through a struggle with alcoholism. Uh, got in trouble, got sober, and then my wife was like, "Okay, I moved to Arizona, and we'd been married for 2 years." I'm like, "Okay." Like, we you can you can move down here and we can keep being married, or
Well,
so
hints.
so I live in Arizona now,
Good choice.
and that was a a little bit of a tough time for me because like I lived in Washington for 25 years.
Yeah.
Didn't know anybody, like, uh, so that
Yeah.
was the time. Like I had already done the thing with bass. Like I felt like you know, I had a strong skill set. I could play pretty much almost anything that I needed to. But I always loved the guitar, and I'd always been trying to hustle guitar gigs, and would never happen. Like they're like, "Oh, that's fun. Like play bass for us."
Yeah.
So when I moved to Arizona, that's when I got real serious with the guitar, and I didn't put in the 8 hours every day like I did when I was 17. I didn't have that kind of time, but I put in 3 or 4 hours every day
Oof.
on the guitar. Um, that was my 2017, and that that was my entire 2017. Because I had spent so much time learning about like the building blocks of music, um, and I just had a physical problem with the guitar. Like I just felt lost on it, like physically, and I didn't know where the notes were. Like that's a little bit of a wild concept to think about, especially I imagine especially for you. Like you know where all of the notes are on your instrument.
On the flute, yeah. On the guitar, I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Most guitarists have no idea what's going on here. They don't know what the notes are. You get your A minor pentatonic scale, and then you can slay most of the beasts. Um, so I did my scales, and I'm like, okay, I need to do them in all 12 keys. And so I started doing that, and then I got I came up with like a little pattern, and then after the pattern, I noticed, wait, that's the same shape as this. So that's when I stopped thinking in terms of keys for practice and more in terms of like, okay, how am I gonna deal with this positionally? That's when I thought of the guitar positionally. So I came up with an exercise to go through all of the keys or all of my positions in the 3 note per string framework from the same note. possible fingering for the major scale on the guitar, and it's wild. Like that took me a long time to like feel comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
and I was shooting in the dark for a lot of this stuff, but after that year, putting patterns within those positions, all of a sudden I felt like, oh, I know where everything is. And so like that's when I got serious as a a guitarist, and then
Nice.
with those skills I tricked the internet into thinking I was a guitarist, to the point where like I'm actually getting guitar gigs now. It's it's great. I'm
Nice.
happy. Um, we've got some time left. Do you have enough time to talk about your doctorate?
Well, so I was actually thinking that we should get close to wrapping up because of this. I think maybe for next episode, we could talk about how our like practicing habits and things have changed as we have become, more mature musicians. Because we're getting to that part of my story where like early on in my career, I like brute force technique and things like that. But then when I started my doctorate, I was going to school full time. I was working half time at the school to pay for my tuition. And then I was working at a local college teaching their adjunct flute students. And I was going out to middle and high schools during the week to teach. And so I didn't have the time to like brute force muscle memory all of my practice anymore. So, I mean, that's when I turned to musicianship to speed up my progress. And, anyways, it sounds a little bit like you were getting there too. You still
Yeah,
did much more rote practice, but like up to the next level of things. So I thought that could be good for next week. What do you think?
yeah, that's perfect, and that is actually a really good segue into the next
I
episode,
know.
because like that was like the end of my brute force.
Hmm.
Well,
And to some extent, you have to do some of that as a musician. You really do just have to build up that muscle memory with the repeated practice. And that's actually what I'm trying to like test and figure out now. I've created this secret organization of adult music nerds. And that way I can test the like musicianship skills that I've been teaching. I don't teach them instead of the like traditional technical skills, but I teach them in addition to, and I think that it really fast tracks your progress. But I have to test it on my little secret group of people because I don't know from myself. I have already spent a very long time putting in the hours of that technique practice, and so I need to make sure that the musicianship stuff is like possible for people as they're building that technique as well. And so far, it's been 10 out of 10 success. So if anybody wants to be in on the secret, you can send me a message.
and it sounds like some of the secret is going to be given away a little bit next week.
Heck yeah.
So I want to thank everybody if you stuck with us. Like
That's right.
it's it's going to pay off. You're going to get some practical information
Woot
next week,
woot.
and hopefully our stories have given us enough credibility to where you'll trust us a little bit with your musical development.
Aw, that's
Um,
so sweet, man.
I appreciate having you here, Dr. Tutton,
You too, Bozo.
and I appreciate you, the listener or watcher, for being
That's
here as
right.
well.
Snaps for
Please,
listeners.
please subscribe and do all of those things, and
Hello,
little
friends, maybe?
yeah, please tell all your friends, and little addendum on last week's episode. I said it was going to come out on October 6th. That was a lie. Um, Hopefully this episode is out on October 20th, meaning the previous episode is just a week late. But if it's not, like, Bozo has bozoed again.
Okay, but if the stupidest thing Bozo did was to tell on himself, because if you didn't tell everyone, no one would know.
I told on myself twice. Like that.
Yeah,
That's
you
just
did.
I like to impose deadlines on myself to if I don't hit it, like I'm gonna look like a jackass. Um, so
But that's not as much of a deterrent because you're used to looking at him like a jackass.
I guess.
Burn.
It's not a burn if it's the truth. But this was a fun one, and I got a little heavier than I was thinking I was gonna get.
Oh, I loved getting to hear your story, actually. I thought it was really fascinating. And I also think it's fascinating to compare like I feel like you did the street smarts education and I did the like institutional education.
I literally learned how to play the bass on the street,
Yep. Or
but
at the farmer's market.
which was next to the street.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. I will see you next week, and I hope to see all of you next week as well.
That's right. Bye, everybody.